Back in February this year, we spoke to Kris Borgraeve on the show. Kris is a Belgian TV journalist based in Perth, and we were talking about the fact that Belgium had set a record for operating the longest period of time without a government. Well, you might have assumed by now the issue has been resolved, but apparently that's not the case. The drama continues in Belgium, and Kris is with us again for a chat. Hello, Kris.
Good morning, Ian. How are you going?
I'm going well, thank you. How long has it been now?
Well, it's 472 days now.
So, well over a year. Remind us how Belgium ended up in this situation.
Yes, well, to make a long story short, complex small country, 5 different parliaments, 3 different languages, 5 different governments. That's the structure of the country since it was created in 1830. And the last years there's been a tendency in the Dutch-speaking north to want more autonomy for the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium. And with the last elections, that really reached a very high level. A lot of people voted for more autonomy for that Dutch-speaking part, so they were stuck. They couldn't form a government. And they've been negotiating about this potential new government ever since. So since June 2010, since the elections, there's a government for current affairs. The guy who lost the elections is still babysitting the country, and they can't really agree on how to structure this complex country. And especially it's about the money, about the tax money. Should it go to the federal government or to one of these other 4 governments? So that's the big issue. We've
been watching with great interest, of course, the problems in the Eurozone. Yes. What's the situation like in Belgium? How are they handling the economy?
Well, the funny thing is that, and I'm of course observing all this through newspapers and radio stations there. The funny thing is there's not really a lot of discussion about the big Euro things and the big issues of the European Union. It's all about this local issue. How are we going to spend the local tax money in Belgium? And people are not really that worried about the larger structure of the European Union. They're more focused on will we get a government soon, and will this country at last start to function properly. So the big issues of the Eurozone are not really felt that much within the Belgian population now.
What about the prosperity? Does it vary much between the different language zones?
There are some, and that's part of the whole political discussion, there are some who say, yeah, the North is richer and the North is more prosperous, and there are even some politicians who say, yeah, but Dutch-speaking Belgians just work harder, and French-speaking Belgians, they just live on social security money. But that's political propaganda. My own experience is that you've got rich and poor people in both zones. There is a tendency to have more small and medium-sized companies in the north. That's true. So there is a certain financial change in relationships between those 2 regions, but it's not a big drama. It's not that the south is really poor. That people all have a good life. There's enough money to enjoy their Belgian beers and good food, so it's no big drama. Has there ever been a suggestion that okay, we've had enough of this lark, we're heading off with the Netherlands, and the rest of you can go to the frogs? There are a lot of suggestions, and that's what the whole political situation is about, to split the country. But because there's a bilingual capital, Brussels, that is in none of those 2 big zones, it's a separate zone with its own parliament, its own government. It's difficult to split a country when the capital can't be given to either of the 2 parties. Then the French-speaking part can associate with France. They all watch Paris, and Paris is their cultural capital. But then the Dutch-speaking Belgians, they can't really think of themselves as becoming Dutch again. They were taken from the Netherlands back in 1830. They can't really think of themselves becoming really Dutch, so part of the Netherlands. So that's not an option. There is a small party again that says, yeah, we could explore this, but a majority of the people really don't want to go there. Good talking to you, Kris. We'll talk to you again in 12 months. Let's hope we have some good news then. See you later. Kris Borgraeve, a Belgian television journalist based in Perth.